Founded in 1934 and led by its first executive director, Elizabeth Wood, Metropolitan Planning Council was formed to improve the living conditions of Chicago's tenement housing. MPC knew early on that people are at the center of good planning. From its beginning, MPC has been committed to a Chicago region in which all communities have what they need to thrive.
The cost of segregation work really began as a question back in 2015. We did not know what we were going to find. We didn't know if we would find a clear answer to our question of what does it cost us to live so separately by race and income, but in fact we did. The reality is that a moral lens on this issue alone had really proven insufficient to move policy. So our question at MPC was really, could data move policy in a different way? We set up a really deliberate process of inquiry. We were listening more than we were talking. We really came to realize we were not telling the story of how to become a more integrated region. We really were telling the story of how to become a more racially equitable region. MPC is fundamentally a very pragmatic institution, right? We want to make changes that are felt in people's day-to-day lives. I think just a fundamental truth in this country is that race-neutral policies will never get us race-neutral results.
MPC knows that the river has many purposes. Recreation and enjoyment and ecological habitat is a really important purpose, but the river system is also about economic development. On certain parts of our river system, it's about industrial development. So MPC understands what comprehensive neighborhood and community planning is all about. The first thing that they did was they worked with thousands of Chicago stakeholders, residents, business interests, the philanthropic community in coming up with the vision. So they engaged 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people in creating the Our Great Rivers vision. And then we had the first vision for all of our river system. What it does is it connects our neighborhoods. And we've got 155 miles of riverfront land to connect. That's what excites me most. As cities around the globe compete for talent, they compete for resources, in the era of climate change, work on a river system now is more important than ever.
ETOD was an idea when we started Elevated Chicago. It was an idea that had been brought to the table by a variety of partners, including the Metropolitan Planning Council. Transit-oriented development for us means development that retains the local culture, retains residents, and does not contribute to displacement. And is development done not for the community, but with the community, and those most affected by the decisions made by planners and developers. Metropolitan Planning Council was not just a convener, they're also a doer. We have deployed about $10 million for equitable transit-oriented development in Chicago. That looks like affordable homes near transit, that looks like grocery stores that are walkable, that looks like community centers, health clinics, public art, climate resiliency interventions. We're changing systems, we're changing rules, we're also changing narratives, and we're doing that, again, following the voice of our community members.
We Will Chicago is just that. It is a plan, a vision for excellence in Chicago that will make the city thrive. It was so important for us to listen and then take action based on what we heard. It's all about centering community voice so that we have a stronger plan. We put together what we call a meeting in the box. Meeting in a box is a way for communities to engage in the process in their own spaces, in their own ways, just using a tool that helps get the most out of the conversation so that we have a stronger plan that reflects what people really think and what people want to see with the citywide plan. If we're successful in not just putting a plan together, but implementing this plan, we'll see stronger and better economic development, stronger and better infrastructure, more affordable housing, and importantly, we will have centered people's voices in this work. The vision that Metropolitan Planning Council has for the future is thriving communities, equitable infrastructure, and just public systems.